Let's get down to business. You are listening to the show that is all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And an issue that every business owner faces is the decision of where to call home, where people should sort of hang up their shingles and call home for their base of operations, whether you have one person in your office or 100 people in your office. And we're thrilled that our next guest knows a lot about the subject. Jake Weiss from Weiss Properties, thanks for joining us on Get Down to Business.
Good morning, Shalom. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. So, Jake, tell us your advice on how businesses should determine where to call home, and as I said, where to call their base of operations.
Well, I'll tell you what we see more often than not, and it's funny. People think that it makes a big difference if you're the shipping business and you want to be close to the expressways or different metropolitan areas. I'll tell you the reality of what I see. We do a tenant survey that we do these kind of contests all the time, give out free tickets and that sort of thing for tenants to participate. And one of the questions we ask is, what do you like about the building? Overwhelmingly, without question, location, being close to home. Everybody, without exception, it's uncanny. The principal of the business or the manager of the business, the person that makes the decision, really lives in a very short distance from the actual place of business. So we find it's the actual local community that we're targeting when we're looking at business owners.
And you've also done a great job in sort of building a network within the buildings at Weiss Properties, as we'll learn more about in a second. So making sure that businesses sort of don't operate in their own little bubble and operate their own business. But as you and I both know, a lot of being in business and the challenges of being in business is about networking and meeting your next customer, meeting your next referral source, and you do a great job. I think you're probably in barbecue season. You're probably all barbecued out from grilling for all of your buildings and for all the tenants in the building, and trying to build a community. So Jake, tell us about your efforts in that area as well.
The first thing is you can never be too barbecued out. That's summertime and barbecues. You want to take advantage of that. It's a great opportunity for the tenants to get together and meet one another. It's funny how so often you find tenants in the same building, almost like you have in residential, where people don't know their neighbors and they don't know what they do. And so often there's an opportunity to have this relationship outside of, just being neighbors. They can actually do some work together, refer some business around. We try within the buildings to build a community and to build destinations. We have a lot of common areas, so tenants have a lot of different opportunities to talk to one another, and we have coffee areas and break areas and lounge areas, and we sort of encourage as much as we can tenants to talk to one another and hopefully grow their own businesses. If we have tenants that their businesses are healthy, my business is healthy. So we encourage that to the utmost possible.
That's for sure. And, I remind our listeners all the time that obviously having a website up, that's not optional. You need to put up your website, and you need to take advantage of the tools of social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all those sort of things. But those are exactly, as I said, tools. They're not a replacement for the real in-person live networking. And your office doesn't need to be only that, an office, a place where you go into work, but it can actually be a home for lots of networking within the buildings as well, which is exactly what our guest, Jake Weiss, of Weiss Properties, tries to do. So, Jake, where are your buildings located in the Chicagoland area?
We spend a lot of time in the north suburbs. It's Skokie, Park Ridge, Palatine, Wheeling, northern suburbs. We have office and warehouse properties. Primarily, we really cater to the mom pods, if you will. We want businesses that we can cultivate growth within. The thing that somebody should be looking for when they are looking for an office, people can go out and they'll say, maybe I want to buy something, and that is a good option for many people. However, when you're dealing with your business, you want your business to be your focus, and the flexibility that leasing offers when your business either is growing or you're trying a new initiative and you need some additional space, or the other side, maybe you've farmed out some of your business and you have to reduce some size, the lease gives you a lot more flexibility with that. So we try and be very accommodating. We have smaller spaces that, can accommodate a single person just starting out. Hopefully they'll do some work with other people, and then they grow within the properties. We have a policy within all our buildings that any tenant during the course of their lease, even if their lease is tied to a certain date, will move them within our buildings at no penalty to different size spaces. So,
and that's important, thinking out of the box, trying to find the right fit. And that's something that I've found that your team at Weiss Properties does a great job at. Obviously, somebody might find information about one of your buildings on the website and say, I'm interested in that space, but your team really works hard in finding the right home, the right place, based on all factors and all considerations for a small business owner, and that's what business owners are looking for. So you guys do a great job. So Jake, how can people find out more about Weiss Properties and maybe even get in on some of that grilling action if they become one of your tenants in one of your buildings?
Yeah, certainly a free burger with every signed lease is part of the program. WeissProperties.com is the best place to find us, or certainly just call the office. We're a people-to-people type of place. 847-329-7600 is the main office. And actually, the head of our leasing team is a fellow named Guy. Everybody has a guy, but I actually have a guy. So he's our leasing director. We also, one of the things that kind of sets us apart a little bit is we do a full in-house design implementation program. So we'll walk through the whole process of designing out the space and kind of make it a seamless operation.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Jake Weiss from Weiss Properties, for sharing advice for business owners out there listening to Get Down to Business and finding your next home and place to call your business home. You're listening to the show that is all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. After the break, we've got more advice for you on business. Remember, get on my website, shalomklein.com, to download podcasts. Let's get down to business.